Proverb 18:2 says, "A fool does not delight in understanding, but only in revealing his own mind." There might be a tendency with some who gain a certain amount of academic learning to be more interested in revealing his own mind than gaining understanding for proper, practical reasons. We must guard against slipping into this mode of operation. I state this as a caution as I proceed to offer a few introductory theological and anthropological observations. I have long observed and concluded that the issues of moral agency and moral government are crucial foundational areas of knowledge from which to construct further layers of understanding. A natural reading of the Old Testament reveals that God's basic relational mode of operation regarding human beings is that of a moral governor. This essentially means that God appeals to our minds with truth, revealed in both word and deed, desiring and anticipating that we use our God-given moral capacities to produce a certain proper response. This is his basic mode of government where human behavior is concerned. Though this is the foundational mode of government, it is at times the case that he operates in a more causative manner when utterly necessary. Many assume that this causative mode of operation is the norm or the rule where God's interaction with the human race is concerned, and with everything else for that matter. I see it as the exception to the rule. Moral government makes sense of concepts such as obedience and disobedience. Both human virtue and vice are the result of moral agency in operation. Having been created in his image and likeness, God has provided us with moral agency and appeals to us with truth and incentive. We either use our moral capabilities in a cooperative, honoring manner, producing obedience and righteousness, or we use the same moral capabilities to ignore and resist his government, producing disobedience and sin. This is what Paul teaches in Romans chapter 6. Verse 13 states, "Do not go on presenting the members of your body to sin as instruments of unrighteousness, but present yourselves to God as those alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness to God." In verse 16, he goes on to say, "Do you not know that when you present yourselves to someone as slaves for obedience, you are slaves of the one whom you obey, either of sin resulting in death, or of obedience resulting in righteousness?" In the next video, I will address 3 theological areas that are important to conceive of in a harmonious, proper manner in our effort to produce both a consistent theology and a consequent practical outcome. One of these areas is the issue of sovereignty. Many people attempt to develop a hip pocket theology that assumes that God controls all human activity in one manner or another, and yet they continue to encourage and beseech humans to act a certain way and do certain things. Most people in this mode of operation choose to ignore this inconsistency, or they try to do some sort of philosophical juggling act, or simply state, "We can't understand such things," and forge ahead. In such cases, we need not wonder why Christianity is disregarded in the marketplace of ideas. The other two theological areas are the issues of eternity and omniscience. This is not to suggest that other theological factors are less important. Rather, I have noticed that these three areas are generally central when attempting to formulate a view that allows for consistent, practical application where questions of divine and human activity are concerned. All three of these are addressed within the body of the book, but I believe a few preliminary observations might be helpful. My next video will undertake that task.